Hi everyone, my name is Elton Iván Alvarez Escalera, and today I would like to present to you teaching pronunciation, which was our subject in this phonetics and phonemes. And we are going to talk about the different topics that we've been managing in this course. And the first one, all with the conclusion. The first one is special nature of English pronunciation. Is that pronunciation might be a difficult task for L2 learners. And we as teachers have the responsibility to create activities in order to get their interest in improving pronunciation. And because great aims make big results, and the more interaction with the pronunciation, the more the learner masters it. So this would be the conclusion of the first topic. The next topic is the articulators. And we have to remember that the articulation of the speech is producing speech sounds. So those sounds, when we speak, are the result of muscle contracting. We have to show them how to use those muscles. For example, pharynx, velum, hyperlate, over the ridge, tongue, the teeth, or the lips. And mastering those sounds of a foreign language requires learners to change many configurations of the mother tongue, for example. So we can summarize that if we teach how to use the different parts of our articulators, we can improve that. We can improve and show more accurately what we are trying to show them in each word we try to pronunciate. In the topic of the vowel system, we have that we can talk about different vowels, cardinal vowels and vowels. The vowels are the opposite of a consonant, and where the air finds no structure, and it can be short, or they can be long, or they can be diphthongs. The cardinal vowels that are determined by physical variables can be closed and open, front and back, and depending on the zone, the the sound that we are going to produce. So teaching this different, similar with articulators, we can show to our students that we have different places where we can produce those sounds. Now, in the consonant system is the one that which includes phonetical and physiological factors. So we have to teach our students that we have 24 consonant sounds. One of those sounds, we can find it here in this table that we have in this slide, and we can teach them how to read also the symbols that we are going to be using. For example, here in this page that we have English consonant in IPA, International Phonetic Alphabet, and we can show them most of the symbols that they are not used to. For example, TH, flow in the air, th, or for example, letter Z, which it sounds like a B. So we can use different examples in real life in how to pronounce those sounds. Now, in the phonemic chart, we have a lot of very interesting symbols that we must teach our students how to read them, because sometimes or most of the time they would not find a word or maybe on a dictionary, for example, and how to pronounce that word. And that's what it's made for, the phonemic chart. So because most of the English students find difficult to understand this kind of symbols. Nowadays, we have a lot of tools or plenty tools on the internet so they can interact with this kind of symbols. For example, here in Teaching English, it's an application, it's an app that you can use in your cell phone, and you can search for different symbols here in the phonemic chart so you can know how each symbol is for. Clicking on every label for each symbol has the sound and some examples. So if you have the opportunity to work with your students with this kind of tool, it might be very useful. So the next is aspects of kinetic speech and stress. We're referring this like particularities that in the language can be presented or can be found when connected one word with another in a conversation. For example, this is more like rhythmical or finding out with a native speaker. Um, One of those particularities we have assimilation that can be when a person is talking too fast and they kind of join different words. For example, we have here in the image that person, instead of saying that person would be the person. So forgetting about the T at the end of that. Elision that can be with another words that are not pronounced. For example, in the word scripts that are scripts with PTS, you don't have to pronounce the PTS. You only say scripts without the T. And we have that, and in the stress is related with the rhythm. Uh, it is also known that in English and the English language, it's a rhythmical, language. So depending on that stress that we can find, for example, poems in poems or songs or sayings, and it's the rhythm or the intonation that we can find, and that is what makes and interesting how a native speaker um, produces the language. And finally, in order to polish all this kind of skills that we are developing in this subject, we have the intonation, which it's going to be crucial in the time of speaking, of creating speech, for example. After relate that we have tone and pitch, which kind of look the same, but we have difference. Like in tone, we have that it's kind of emotional, grammatical, it has information and structure, at contextual, that it's psychological, and indexical. That means that includes something that is inside of every person who is making a speech. For example, right now, I'm trying to create some tones in order to well, relate it with my emotions, for example, with my grammar practice, with the structures and the information that I already have in my mind. And the pitch comes more for examples like transmitting how to increase the intonation or decrease the intonation. Like the fall pitch. The fall pitch means when someone is trying to say something in an answer when they're asking something. Like, how do you feel this? How do you feel? Do you want to go for some? Do you want to go for some meal? And I say no. So that would be the fall. But if I say no, I'm rising that answer and making and focusing on the feeling. Now, these two topics that are talking with tone and pitch have something that are very common into each other. The level, the voice, the quality, the timbre, the speed, and the volume. So we have to relate each other, and every time we speak, we have to put in practice all this kind of type of intonation. Finally, concluding that in phonetics and phonemes are very important for our students because it's all that glows generally how they can create speech with emotions, they can create speech with memory, they can assimilate those kind of sounds that we have to produce in order to create the language correctly. So It is our responsibility as teachers that we get a lot of information, a lot of examples, a lot of help, motivation, so they can keep improving every single day by practicing those phonemes, those intonations, and those articulations of every word in the language. So we have already the material. We have um, the aim, the main point. Now we have to put it into practice with our students every single day, because it's because of that motivation that they can find interesting in this kind of topic. So thanks for a lot for watching. Hope you enjoyed and hope to see you soon. Goodbye.